All right, so we're gonna go over some trade recaps from today. It is April 25th, 2023. Um, Today I took MU, I took AMD, both short setups, and then I also took. I mean, we don't really need to cover any like hero or zero lottos. I took some SPX lottos into day to zero because I was up decent on the day. I only threw $100 in. I lost all of it, but um, so we're first gonna touch on AMD off the morning. So off the morning, we had news at 10 o'clock, so I was full cash off 10 o'clock, just because the market was making a nice move to the upside, but I didn't necessarily trust it. Um, Along with one thing that I like to mention is I was watching AMD because it was in such a it was in such a big level on the daily chart, and I really like this one because there was a balance to fill right here. So if you kind of just look at this range of candles that we've been in, you'll notice how the volume definitely starts to die off because this was such an impulsive move to the upside that if we don't hold the breakout level, which was generally this previous low a day, because that's where bidders were sitting yesterday, then we're probably going to feel this imbalance all the way down to the downside, right? In which that's what we did, right? So I was expecting if for AMD to see further upside, I would expect this pivot right here, this daily breakout range at $86 to gap up overnight, right? And then we gap above this hive day. We're back on top of this previous support, and then this previous support, makes a nice move to the upside. Potential falling wedge breakout, right? So this was the bottom of the falling wedge right here. This was pretty much it. Below, if we don't gap up, this is pretty much invalidated, right? It pretty much already was toast, but I think AMD had one small little last bounce in it for a potential breakout. This looked like potential short trap down here into a bidder into close. So I don't really know. I didn't have a bias. I do know that we lost the 50 MA on the daily, which is not good. Volume never really told us the story though. It was pretty much flat volume, right? And then we gapped down overnight. So once we gapped down and lost previous low a day, we could go to the intraday time frame and we could look at this, right? So previous low a day is right where I saw AMD starting to show weakness, right? We saw a leg down. We saw a nice bid step in at about $86 psychological level. So I wasn't necessarily interested in shorting this breakdown off this loss of previous low a day. I really wasn't. We did lose the pre-market low and previous low a day, but I wasn't interested because oftentimes you're going to see institutional orders step in at this 86 range, right? So that is exactly why I didn't take that. Um, but the reason as to why I took the retrace onto this was if you go to the smaller time frame, you'll be able to see it. And I actually posted this. I don't do alerts for people because I'm working with a group that wants to learn how to trade and things like that. And alerts generally like alerts are not good. Um, so I just talked about this setup. I said right here. Okay, so this is the lower time frame bear flag into VWAP. There was no. It's not the fact that the volume was extremely low. It was lower in comparison to the sell-off, but the fact that this was a very diminished spread. It was a very neutral spread, and there was also sellers kind of trying to absorb these buyers up here at these ranges. I didn't like on tape and shit. I didn't really like the longs, and I didn't like the strength that was coming off this $86 level, right? Because don't forget, we also did gap down. So we gapped down and we lost previous low a day. I'm looking for a general base and strength on this level. We did not get that. We did get the breakdown out of the flag. It offered a nice retest. This flag didn't really follow through because this was another 86 level test where bidders were trying to step in at this range, right? And liquidity got extremely low. We got a nice push up to here on higher volume, but that was just into VWAP and previous low of day. Um, and then you obviously see the breakdown. You see the break of structure below these lows right here. And then from there on out, you could take even a short position targeting something down here at the $85 psych from the $86 psych because we broke the structure. We're continuing structure to the downside, and you're oftentimes going to see volatility once these bidders get soaked and absorbed, and you see the breakdown through them. They'll move their bids or they'll step their bids back to maybe 85 bucks. It looks like they did, right? So that was a nice one, along with Confluence to XOS. XOS is a someone's mic is terrible.
Sorry, I'm outside. Let me put my headphones. That's some good noise canceling.
That's funny. So anyway, here was
I
a
got
breakout
long.
level for XOS. XOS is a clean breakout level because of the general pivot that it was ranging around for a support, right? Support did turn into a resistance. We did fill some of this imbalance candle on this breakdown below the support. This is now a resistance range, right? And then we start coming up to this range up here where it could be a potential inverse head and shoulders breakout. Not sure. Chips, they've often, NVIDIA's been in distribution for a while. I think they needed to cook every single put option within within that distribution range before they do send it down. And it seems as if more and more long-term puts are being cooked on it. So XOS was primed for a breakout, and this is the bear. This is inverse of chips, right? So it's chips, but it's inverse. We did have an imbalance candle to fill to the upside, and I even talked with my Discord here. Where is it? If I look up XOS, I said, speak of XOS, this may see a breakout, got a base on 20 bucks and clear Friday high day to fill an imbalance to 2170, right? So that, like we've already mentioned, this gapped up above the resistance. That is a clean setup for a short play on chips if we do tend to fill this general range of daily imbalance right here. So this general range, that's inevitably going to fill, and it's probably going to have to test this next range of supply up here on the daily. We're pretty free moving, and we have a nice breakout pattern until that range, right? And we cleanly move through. It was an extremely strong movement all day, and it was also backed by volume. You got to remember the liquidity on these names are a lot lower than your general tech, so volume anomalies and things like that can be reversed right back to the original direction. And you'll notice that with a lot of names like BA, SQ, names I've been trading a lot lately. I think respecting price and things like that is a lot more in overall trend is going to be a lot more important. Like if you saw something like this on Apple, it would be much more of a red flag than for XOS, right? So that's that. It's up 10% on the day. So that's Confluence to the AMD. And then AMD throughout the day was just generally weak. This was a really nice weak setup, right? We immediately lost pre-market low right off the morning and previous low day. Extreme red flag along with SOX. And then, this broke, retested, gave the retest, it broke down. We continued our structure, and then you even get a couple more retests throughout here. But that was that. And then on top of that was NVIDIA. So I was mainly trading chips today just for the overall weakness of them. NVIDIA was weak the whole entire time. I was looking at NVIDIA for a short, or AMD. So NVIDIA was weak the whole entire time. I was looking at AMD for the short setup. It seems as if NVIDIA definitely had some nice momentum off the open. That momentum was then shifted to the downside, and a break right below VWAP, break right below these buyers that were sitting off this candle, and then we did get the retest, and that was our first lower high for the day, for a change of character or break of structure, whatever you want to say, right? So here's where your bidders off the morning. These were then filled. They pushed it up to this range, which was a range of supply. If you want to take this range of supply up here, that range of supply was rejected, so I was not bullish. I was not bullish at all. And then I just wanted to see continuation by bears under VWAP. We did get that along with QQQ. getting the same exact kind of look to it, right? So, I mean, here's previous low a day. We were kind of just flat trading between these. And like I said, I wasn't waiting for a trade until 10 because we did have news. So when I did see this, it did look good, right? So we did have confluence to the daily. We did have confluence with Nvidia for a nice breakdown, at least until 265. That's the level I was watching below previous low a day at around 267. I was watching 265 for um, a general just a test down here at these ranges. Maybe not even 265, but a little bit lower. Um, so that's that. The reason as to why I took MU was a clean setup for the fact of a huge daily spot on the chart right here. It seems as if the daily volume and the general sell-off off of this range up here at 64, this major daily resistance, wasn't huge, right? But we did actually lose the 50 MA early this morning, right? We lost the 50 MA. We lost the trend line here as well, this daily trend line. So one thing that I really liked about this name as well was um, we had the same action, except this general name had a nice sell-off, right? It was getting a retest into VWAP. This retest into VWAP had an extremely high 5-minute candle into VWAP, but it wasn't enough. It was followed by volume got really high right here, essentially. So once I started seeing this diminished spread under VWAP and a really tight spread with almost no momentum for bulls to make that attempt off of this volume to push it through, along with the daily trendline break, I did expect further downside. I grabbed some puts up here for I think it was a $58 put. They ran from like 60 something bucks to like 80 bucks. I think it was only about a 25% gainer. And then once I saw this I saw this momentum and to the downside on extremely low volume. I figured this was a general range of absorption. And names like this don't have as much liquidity as like the bigger chip names like AMD, Nvidia, things like that. So like I said, you can't really respect uh, low volume just as much. I definitely think this looks extremely bearish. And I was targeting low of day here. So I was targeting this general range of demand. We did end up getting that just for a scalp. I got about a 20% gainer on this one. Nothing crazy, but took home a win on that one. And then that's that. Yeah. So, um, speak of which, if you go to the hourly time frame, this is that trend line I was talking about, right? And then we got a really nice print on our first hourly our two first hourly candles through this range. And obviously, a print on this through this 50 MA that's sitting right here is going to be bearish, especially with the spot that we're in on the daily chart. Right here. So we lost the 50 MA right off the morning and this daily trend line. We did have an imbalance on the hourly to fill right here as well, is what I was also seeing. So this general range, I was looking for a possible entry if we didn't show strength. Sometimes on imbalance candles, you will show strength on top of the imbalance. But I was eyeing up that imbalance. We unfortunately never did get that downside move. I was just eyeing it up as well as everything else. Yeah, so those are the trades for today. I can even go over yesterday's. So yesterday's were a little bit interesting, and also had to deal with a little bit of imbalance as well. I did like Tesla or actually, we'll review today's Tesla. So Tesla, I really liked because first of all, we had earnings, right? Tesla was a miss on earnings. Um, they missed by 1.3% on the revenue, $266.966 million. So the reason as to why I really like Tesla is because, first of all, we did lose this extremely big weekly pivot range. right here. So that's first thing I wanted to obviously stay on top of. Another thing was we gapped down extremely heavily after earnings on really high, nice volume. Well, of course, because it's earnings, but the candle after that printed a low volume inside bar on the daily. That low volume inside bar does signify continuation, as it is a extremely low volume inside bar. It wasn't really enough effort by bears to really push this up much more. And then the gap down the day after for Monday, I'm sorry, was extremely telling. They did try to bid this off the 158 range, which is not really sure why they did that there, but um, we got the retest into this general range, right? And this has just generally been where bears have been defending, right? They took this down, they gapped it downwards. We did fill that gap into today, but the fact that this is a spot as to where it seems like it wanted the lower high, I did say right here, um, Tesla might die. Um, at 221 because that looked like the lower high range of that move, as well as if you go here, that is from low to high of that inside print on the daily for Friday to the move down, and then this inside bar that we kind of formed, well, inside the ranges of the Friday's high to low. This was a 618 retracement into the 163 level. So the fact of the volume anomalies and the choppiness right after the momentum did signify a lower high for a wider time frame. And the fact that I said this at 221, Tesla might die because um, like I said, that range up there, we broke out of the range on increasing volume. We started getting signs of increasing volume on prints. Like buyers did try to defend this right off of this range of distribution. They successfully did, but for a lower high. And then this obviously got dragged right back down. Once I saw the effort by bulls right here off of this range, the lower range of distribution on this SR flip, I did say I did think we're gonna slice through this level because we need to test something further down to find some buyers because there's none up here. We did indeed do that, and then we tested this range right here. This range looked toppy up here as well with a high volume 5-minute shooting star candle and just general choppiness. So I just really like this range to short at a discount. I didn't take it, but this did look good to short at a discount or at the 618 from the high of day all the way to this swing low retracement. Um, your stop loss would be the general range because bears are going to want to defend this initial distribution that did occur today. So the fact that we were seeing some anomalies at the top here, just completely removing the indicators other than your volume and your price, this did look like it wanted a further downside move. Um, Another thing is we did just essentially fill this fair value gap that's right here. So you take it from your support of distribution to the bottom of the body. And it seems like as if we did just kind of fill the imbalance, buyers try to defend this imbalance afterwards, or maybe shorts, I don't know, shorts taking profit, whatever it is, people that are in to short this for the imbalance. And then we kind of saw that dead cat retracement, and then boom, downwards we go. So those were just the trades for today. I can make one. I can make a video for the trades for yesterday as well. So um, here we'll actually go over the one that I got out for a 1% loss. It was a stupid trade. I even said beforehand it was really sketchy. I was getting some sell climax vibes for Spine QQQ right off the morning in the sell off. It seemed like it was a bit overextended, and just generally looked like a lot of equities and things like that were accumulating off of bottoms. So AMD, I was eyeing up this daily breakout range that it seems like they did try to trap shorts underwater on. They unfortunately didn't. They did get some continuation after they didn't after they failed to reclaim the breakout level, this green zone that I have. But I bought some AMD 87 calls at 1133. So if we go to AMD 1133. So I even said above this. AMD is accumulating at 1119. So that was kind of like right here after. We'll go to the smaller time frame and look at this. So around here, it did look like a possible accumulation phase down here. We did get the nasty sell-off. It wasn't on any kind of dramatic volume. We started getting an exhaustion phase down here on a extremely neutral spread, but very flat volume. So it seems as if like the liquidity was soaked for the sell side. We did get a leg down and then just a nasty engulfing on extremely high volume right through that. So I was looking for AMD to potentially defend this range that the bidders were stacking at $85, which is that psych level we were talking about, for a lower high. We did get the hammer candle right off of $85 again. That did kind of send us right through VWAP. Don't forget, we do have a supply range up here to test. So that's something to definitely keep in mind, as well as your 15-minute orb off open. So you can even drag this down a little bit and buffer it to the bottom. So that was something that I was very cautious around. So I did get into calls off of VWAP on a retest right here at 85.73. It did go to 85.74, and this is that range where I was expecting just a little bit of a push into it and then a rejection, in which I was trying to scalp for. But I was extremely cautious with it. If you do go in live with me, you will understand that. I was expecting a retest of 86. We didn't quite get that. And then I just stopped out of these. Got out for a 1% loss. Can't watch this turtle shit. It was moving extremely slow, as well as it was at 11:51. So I didn't really dig the trade much because it was a little bit.
Nigger.
It was a little bit
Nigger.
stupid. Oh god. All right. So 11:51 I got out. That was right here on the retest of VWAP when I entered initially over here, got out right here. So right before it looked like the flag wanted to break down. I could have flipped short, but it was just the time of the day going into Wall Street lunch. I didn't want to. So those were the trades for today.